What's up guys, welcome to Voicey here. This is your host, Captain Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesOfNeckBeards.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.
This story's called Nasty Neckbeard at DragonCon apparently thinks cosplay equals consent. After watching YouTube videos and reading stories, not gonna lie, I was kinda hoping that I'd be able to spot a neckbeard in public. And holy crap did I get my wish and more. Actual story. DragonCon 2019 was my first ever convention and I went with 3 friends. For a while, I've been building up a cool cosplay since cosplayers are amazing and I've always wanted to cosplay. This year, I decided to go as Nessa from Pokemon Sword and Shield. I chose her since I'm a black girl and could pull it off pretty well. I had just gotten my ticket to take a picture with the nicest, most handsome man on Earth, David Tennant, and went to this room where a bunch of other stars were taking pictures and signing autographs. A friend and I were walking up to the line where you could meet Kimberly Brooks, voice of Allura from Voltron, when this obese, pale guy who looked like he was in his late 30s, who I'll call Dragonbeard, saw me from another line.
Hey Nessa, can I take a picture with you?
Sure, of course. It was cool since like 20 people already asked to take a picture with me that day. I even got a rose from this traveling bard cosplayer. I felt super flattered. Not bad for a first-time cosplayer, I think. So as Dragonbeard walked over to me, that's when the stink hit me full force. I thought I smelled something earlier when I walked into the room, but I assumed it was probably from so many people in one room cosplaying on a sweltering hot Georgia day. I was wrong to an extent. This dude smelled like a crappy litter box that was tossed in a garbage can that sat in the sun for a few days. I regretted agreeing to the photo. Just so you know, this dude had multiple $30 autographs in his hands when he called out to me. Boy can't at least afford some $1 deodorant and a bar of soap. My mommy taught me to be polite to people and not to judge them too quickly. But damn, I just wanted to tell this guy to take a freaking shower. I remember telling myself that it would be over quickly and it was a quick picture. Then I could leave. But no. As he was reaching into his bag to get his camera, Dragonbeard said this.
You know, Nessa was my first crush.
There it is. The red flag. My friend and I were just looking at each other with scared eyes like, what? Did he just say that? At this point, Dragonbeard had his camera and held out his right arm to take a picture. But then he reached around and pulls me into his stank-ass self. His sweaty hand was on my exposed midriff and was closer to my ass than I was comfortable with. Since I'm a germaphobe and absolutely hate any nasty things touching me, I wanted to jump into a tub of disinfectant and die. He could have at least asked me before using his sweaty hands to press me against his sweaty, disgusting, horrid-smelling folds. Dude's sweaty armpit was right on my exposed right shoulder, probably leaving revolting sweat prints on me. Sorry, I'm getting descriptive. It's just that it was hell. Absolute hell for me. As I forced a smile and tried not to throw up a little in my mouth or have an episode, the guy leans in until his face is like an inch away from mine. End me, please. I washed my face 6 times that night since I felt so dirty afterwards. And then the point where I start getting really scared is when Dragonbeard asked,
Can I give you a little peck on the cheek, Nessie?
As he squeezed my midriff and pulled me a tiny bit closer. Yuck. What the heck? Let me just say that I'm 16 at that point, and I told him this. Dragonbeard raised his eyebrows, shrugs, and said,
So? Just a little kiss from a cutie?
Oh man, what the heck? Red flags everywhere! My friend just stood there, terrified, looking like she was about to cry or scream. My first thought, other than, oh my god, he's a kid diddler, was to get the hell away from him and scream for some kind of security. I couldn't though, because this guy is bigger than me. Who knows what he could do to me before someone could stop him? I was scared out of my mind, so I just stood there, paralyzed in fear and shock, before I said, no thanks. Dragonbeard kinda looked at me for a hot moment like he was gonna go for it anyway. Dear God. I calmed down a little after he said,
Oh, okay then.
He snapped 3 pictures, I think, and then released me from his nasty, sweaty, stinky, dirty self. I was pretty sure the smell was probably gonna stick to me for the rest of the day, especially while taking a picture with David Tennant, my idol. Damn it. Dragonbeard just walked away. Like it was normal to terrorize someone he knows is underage. I stood there and tried not to cry and make a scene in the midst of all the con goers and voice actors. I went home that night, happy that I got to take a picture with the man I adore, but I was dampened by the fact that this neckbeard probably made me smell like a crappy litter box next to him. I stayed in the shower for an hour, but no amount of showering could erase the stink from my memory. At least I finally had a story of my own to tell. Oh, poor girl, that's not nice. People like that ruin things people wait literal years for just because they're creepy and smelly. They should really do deodorant checks at convention entrances. And also, if possible, some sort of kid diddler check. Because seriously, man, let people enjoy themselves without having to worry about getting, whatever the hell happened to her happened to them. Like, she was in an obviously insanely uncomfortable situation and she was too intimidated to do anything about it because the guy was too big. Like, come on, man. I want to say these possible solutions like, give the kids like a badge that says, "I'm a kid, stay away, creepos," or something like that. Obviously not word for word, or have someone quarantine the kids and keep them in a group, but that just ruins the experience for the kids. Why can't the kid diddlers just stay away, man? Maybe they could have like a buddy system sort of thing, like where you sign up for it and you can have someone walk around the convention with you, like a volunteer that you're okay with. I don't know, something needs to be done because I hear these stories and I just feel really bad because people get so excited for conventions. I've never been to one, but I really want to go to one. Actually, no, there was that Super Saiyan Showdown 2 that I went to. Oh my god, that was so cool. This story is called My Husband's Neckbeard Coworker. This is my first Reddit post ever, so bear with me if I don't have the finer points of this site down. My husband and I are young newlyweds, and as many newlyweds are, we can't spend enough time with each other. Because of this, nearly every day after work, I go and say hi to my husband at his job at our local Domino's before heading home. Sometimes snagging those amazing parm bites they clearly lace with crack. Sometimes when I get there and Mitch, my husband, is out on delivery, I'll sit in the lobby and chat with his coworkers if they're not busy. Most of them are pretty cool, but there's one that just makes me cringe. 5'10", somewhere between 250 and 300 pounds, with the traditional scrappy facial hair beginning exclusively at the neck, My Little Pony decal on his car, the whole 9 yards. I'm sure if he could get away with wearing a fedora rather than the Domino's logo on his hat, he would in a heartbeat. And naturally, the first time he approached me waiting for my husband in the lobby, the greeting included a tip of the hat and
"How art thou this fine day, my lady?"
I was raised to be polite, and I didn't feel that I had much to worry about. In the 6 months of my marriage so far, every man that has hit on me has stopped in their tracks when I flash my rooster-blocking wedding ring and say, "Thank you, but I'm happily married." This guy should have been no problem. "Oh, how I was wrong," I responded with, "I'm fine, thanks. You?" Neckbeard continued,
"I couldn't help but notice that you endow us with your presence frequently. Is there someone here who maybe catches your fancy?"
Catches my fancy. This guy is a real cartoon character. I bit back a sarcastic remark and replied, "You could say that. I'm waiting for my husband Mitch. I think he's out for delivery right now." The guy visibly deflates for a second, and then seems to recover and plops his mask down next to me. As seems to be common with the traditional neckbeard, he smelled like he hadn't had a shower for weeks. He then proceeds to talk about how he was engaged briefly, and then the girl cheated on him, and she was a major bench, and didn't know a nice guy when she saw one, and on, until my husband finally just got back and reminded him to get back to work. Less than 2 hours after that, Neckbeard sent me a friend request on Facebook, along with a nice little message.
"Howdy, Bria. Remember me?"
I rolled my eyes and ignored the request immediately. From there, it got weird. My husband would tell me Neckbeard would ask questions about me incessantly. Where I worked, where I went to school, what I liked to watch or read, and then progressively my husband said he started to slip in questions about our sex life. Starting with offhand casual comments like,
"Bet she's good,"
and then progressing to trying to ask my husband about my kinks. On my ends, I couldn't visit my husband at work anymore without Neckbeard approaching me trying to chat, or trying to make me give him a hug, or trying to make me listen to his stories of his apparent sexual prowess. he'd joke with my husband in front of me by trying to wrap his arm around me and saying,
Mitch, meet my new wife.
My husband, bless his heart, is a conservative, quiet guy who was struggling to comprehend what was going on. All he knew was that I was uncomfortable, so he'd pull me toward him and say awkwardly, "Haha, locked her down already." Oh, and don't get me started on the constant barrage of messages on Facebook, Instagram, my phone number he somehow got a hold of. Mitch thinks Neckbeard may have stolen his phone at one point. He would tell me how he's pretty sure Mitch was cheating on me, and how Mitch tells him all about our sex life. Definitely not true. My husband seriously is a prude publicly, and is one of the few honest men out there. He would tell me how well he treats women, and how he wishes I wasn't married. Then that he had a fantasy about hooking up with a married woman, and then how he likes emotionally mature women, which I'm pretty sure he means he likes our age gap. I recently turned 20. He's definitely in his late 30s, early 40s. I literally never responded to any of them. Probably 60 messages that were left unread or blocked. This all climaxed to our 4th or 5th time at Mitch's job of me telling him to please leave me alone, that I wasn't interested whatsoever. Then I got mean the 6th or so time and told him I thought he was disgusting for not letting the matter drop the first time I told him no. At that point, when I visited my husband, I would wait in my car for him to come out to me. Neckbeard started coming out to see me and would point in my car window asking,
Why do you hate me? Did I offend you?
I got so sick of this bullcrap, I got out of my car and told him in his face I would file for a restraining order if he so much as talked to my husband or me again. He thought I was kidding and tried to kiss me, which earned him a slap to the face. Unfortunately for him, my husband saw this. As you may have gathered, my husband is a peaceful guy. He's big, but a teddy bear, you know? Out of the two of us, I'm the one people generally are too nervous to mess with because of my perpetual resting bench face, as well as a pretty prominent attitude when I'm irritated. Mitch's gentleness and easygoing demeanor is one of the things I absolutely love about him because those traits are strengths in men who have them. But in that moment, the quiet demeanor was gone, and a split second later, Neckbeard was booking it back into Domino's with my husband hot on his tail, yelling every word in the book at him. It was a bit sexy, if I'm being honest. Neckbeard was fired, and I haven't heard from him since. Hopefully, this streak continues. I couldn't believe this guy. You hear about these horror stories online, but it's not something you think you'll experience until it happens. I mean, every woman deals with something like this here and there, but this is insane. I hope Neckbeard doesn't just move on to another victim. Guys, when women say they love confidence in a man, that is not what they're talking about. This story's called McNeckbeard. A day may come where I will not write these stories, when the decency of the common folk prevail, and those beardy necks think before they speak. But it is not this day. Yes, dear readers, I have returned with yet another story about a neckbeard. After my lady fair, who doesn't seem to realize that my lady fair could probably immobilize a Kodiak bear with a stern look. This particular story has been building up for 1.5 years now at Spooky's workplace. While she's been trying to find a career in graphic design, Spooky has been working at our local McDonald's and recently got promoted to morning shift manager. This works wonderfully for us both, as our schedules are practically the same, so our evenings are spent complaining about our days. Most of Spooky's stories centered on a fellow coworker, whom I shall call McBeard, that seemed to irk Spooky more than any other person there. Flash forward to recently, Spooky and I are cuddled on the couch watching Markiplier's playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2, talking about our days.
Seriously, the people on my shift have the collective IQ of a Goomba. You want to hear what McBeard did?
I have a feeling I'm going to, whether I want to or...
So, this stupid beanstalk decided it'd be a wizzo idea to stop taking orders for a few minutes to quote, "Let you poor girls catch up," and guess what happened?
The line
backed the F up, and even worse, he was hitting on everyone who came through. Everyone. Guys, girls, old people, young people. It was so freaking creepy.
Damn, sounds like he's a lonely bastard.
I just hate the guy. Seriously. Every day he works, it's all comments on mine and Allie's asses, or we'd look better in tighter shirts.
Christ alive, you're a manager, just tear him a new one.
I have, but the thick fricker doesn't get it, no matter how much I yell at him.
Are we talking American thick or Europe thick?
I will kill you.
After some minor pummeling from Spooky, I decided to visit her at work the next morning, as it was my day off and thought this would be an excellent opportunity to observe a neckbeard in the wild. The morning comes, Spooky leaves for work, and I follow behind her. This is around 7 a.m. when her shift starts. I ambush her with a hug and kiss at the door, and we parted ways. Her towards the back, and myself to the order kiosk, casting a glance behind the counter for McBeard. Behind the counter, at the one non-automated till, was a tall, gangly man with a thick mustache and a long goatee, shallow eyes that had more bags than a local shop, and a smile that was more gum than tooth. My eyes flitted to his name tag, and sure enough, McBeard was proudly emblazoned across the plastic plate. I decided an interaction with him couldn't be passed on, so I opted to place my order with him as opposed to using the order kiosks. His voice made me cringe so hard I thought my spine would snap. You know the voice people use for a flamboyantly gay man? That, but dripping with sleaze.
Well, aren't you looking McHandsome today, mister? What can I get for you?
Oh my god, I've hit the jackpot! It took every fiber of my being to not burst out laughing as I ordered a black coffee and bagel, and proceeded to sit as close to the kitchen as I could manage to watch. 20 minutes later, and I wasn't disappointed.
Spooky! How many times have I told you not to wear those pants? Your ass looks totally flat. We've gone over this, McBeard. You don't talk to me like that. Keep it up and I'll go to Bruce.
McBeard made a pouty face.
Oh, come on. Why are you so mean to me? I'm just being friendly. No, friendly is saying hi or asking how my day is. What you're doing is freaking harassment, you twat waffle.
Another pouty face.
Fine. How's your potato frickin' boyfriend? He's actually my potato freaking fiancé, and if you call him that again, I'll make you swallow what little teeth you have left. Oh, you're marrying him? Sad face.
Yes, he actually said sad face.
Yes, I'm marrying him. Wedding still for next October, right, babe?
Spooky called over to me from the drive-thru, me sipping my coffee, glaring at McBeard. Sure is, love. Shall we invite your lovely coworker here?
No, I'd rather not have my wedding be weasel-infested.
McBeard was glaring at me and I raised my cup to him. And that's Mr. Potato Fricker to you, sir. Okay, that was a really cute story. That was a joy to read, okay? I'm just saying. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.